Hey folks, Dude here with Dudes Do It Yourself. One of the easiest things that you can do yourself and save money is to change the oil in your car. It's really simple. I'm going to show you how to do it. In fact, it's going to be one of the easiest videos I'll ever probably do. This is a 2012 Volkswagen CC. Has about 56,000 miles. I took it into the dealership the other day because it had a recall, and I knew that it needed an oil change. I asked them how much they wanted for an oil change. They wanted like $129, and that was on special. So I'll show you how you could do it and go down to, I went down to Advanced Auto Parts, got Mobile One on special for like 35 bucks for five quarts in a jug, 5 quarts and an air filter. And that's all you need. That, a few tools, and a willingness to get dirty. So let's get after it. So here I've got the CC up on ramps. If you don't have ramps, you can get a jack up the car, put some jack stands up, under it. As a security precaution, you should always chalk, the rear wheels. Make sure that the car's not going anywhere. Safety first, guys. So this is the engine of the CC. It's a 2-liter turbo. Very common engine in Volkswagens and Audis. It's a great engine, by the way. This is easy to get to. This is the oil filter right here. The hardest part of the whole job is to get under the car and get the drain plug and drain the oil from the engine so we can put in the brand new engine oil. Here's my waste oil storage container. I picked it up at Harbor Freight. It's nice and low profile, and it fits about 8.5 quarts. So it's got more than enough for this job. I think I have a little bit of automatic transmission fluid in it from the transfer case rebuild project, but there should be plenty of space to drain the oil of the CC. Okay, so I'm gonna remove this plug here. That'll let the oil drain in to the storage compartment. It's a number 18 millimeter wrench. Let's drain this oil. Okay, I've got the drain pan here positioned under the drain plug. Got my gloves on. This is the dirtiest part of the job. It's an 18 millimeter. Get it loose. Once you get it loose, you can loosen the rest of the way. So we opened this up, we drained it into our waste oil pan, put the drain plug back in. It is an 18 millimeter. Tightened it back up, not too tight, but you want that nice and snug. You do not want that coming out and draining the oil. So make sure it's nice and tight, and then clean it all up so that you can tell if there's an oil leak or drips or something that should not be there. Okay, you always want to clean that up. So now that was the dirtiest part of the job. Now we go topside and take the filter off and put in the new oil. All right, so now we've drained the oil from the engine down below. Here's the oil filter. A couple different ways you can take the oil filter off. I'll show you one of them. This is basically a wrench designed specifically to fit right over the end of this oil filter. And then you use a 3/8 inch ratchet and you unscrew it that way. Okay? Let me get another one, show you how it can be done another way. These are other oil filter wrenches. This works by friction. You kind of position this around the filter. This is too big for this filter. But then you are able to just, twist it off, and this one's too small. I'm going to use this this wrench right here, filter wrench. Now this filter is full of oil, so it's going to be a little bit messy, but hopefully won't be too much. Have to kind of hold this hose out of the way, pops right out. Okay. Okay, this is the new filter. It's a Pure Later Boss. It was part of the special. down at Advanced Auto Parts. And there we go. Now, what I like to do and what's recommended is you get a little bit of oil and you just kind of wet the seal right here. Okay? Wet the seal right here. That way, you know it's going to make a nice, good seal all the way around when it's on there. And this just screws back where the old one was. Gonna have to move this hose back out of the way so you get the right angle on it. Now normally they recommend that you only hand tighten, you know, these filters. You don't want to over tighten them because it'll warp the whole casing and you might have problems with it not sealing right, etc., etc. And usually that's what I would do, but as you can tell, it's really tough to get a good grip on this one in there with all these hoses all the way around it. So I'm going to get it as tight as I can. See, I really can't grip it that well. So I'm going to give it a little just tighten it just a tiny bit with my wrench, oil filter wrench, just to make sure it's nice and snug. Again, don't want to over tighten this, don't overkill it, just got to make a nice seal. Okay, all right, so here's the Mobil 1. I'm a big fan of Mobil 1, as I told you guys before. This is 5W30. There's 5 quarts in here. It should be right around 5 quarts. Should be the capacity of this 2-liter engine. I'm going to use I'm going to clean this funnel so I avoid making a mess. And we're going to pour almost all of these 5 quarts in. Okay, that's almost all of the 5 quarts. Check the oil level here. See where it's at. Should be right in this space right here. You can see that grid. This is the minimum down here. It's the max right here. Should be right in between those 2 marks. Let's see where we're at. Okay, that looks like plenty. Now, one of the things that happens is that it's a brand new oil filter, so it doesn't have any oil in it yet. Once we start the engine, the oil pump's going to circulate all the oil and that filter will fill up. So we've got more than enough oil in it. I'm not going to add any more until we start the car, let the oil circulate, and then we're going to measure it again. Okay, I started the car, let it run for about 30-45 seconds. Let's take another measurement. And with the oil circulating, the filter should have filled up, taken our level down just a bit, and hopefully just enough to be right perfect. You see that? That is right where it should be. So that was just about 4.7 quarts approximately, which is what's indicated. Okay, so that was perfect. I always like to check the oil after about a day, or when the next time I fill up the gas, just to make sure everything's still topped off and perfect. That is as easy as it gets. It took us, I mean, with camera work took a little bit more, but literally it's like a 10-15 minute job. You do it yourself. Mobil 1 oil, Purolator oil filter for $35 bucks down at Advanced Auto Parts. And you could probably get an oil change for cheaper than what the dealer is charging, but still, you save a lot of money. You get to do it yourself and have a little fun along the way. So we're done with our oil change. The last thing that we have to do is reset the service reminder. So let's see, I think you go this way. Yeah, I'm gonna go to settings. By the way, you change kind of what you're looking at through these pages and then scroll down and hit OK when you got what you want. Service, hit OK. See what the info. Okay, so let's go back. And let's reset it. Service, reset. Okay. And that's it. So now the car knows that it has fresh oil, fresh service, and it'll remind you when it needs another oil change. The last thing to do, folks, is to take your used oil back to the auto parts store. They have a big drum in the back that they will let you. They encourage you to go dump your used oil there, and they will recycle it responsibly. So let's take care of this rock that we call home and recycle our oil. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.